Meeting of May 16, 2024 to order. Before I proceed, I would like to take a moment to go over our meeting protocols for today. The South Pasadena Cultural Heritage Commission meeting for May 16, 2024 will be conducted in person to maximize public safety while still maintaining transparency and public access. Members of the public can observe the meeting via Zoom. Will staff please take a roll call?
Commissioner Cross, Commissioner Morris, Commissioner Ding,
Here.
Commissioner Severson,
Here.
Vice Chair Morris, Chair Lopez.
Here.
You have quorum.
Thank you. Next, we move on to the approval of the agenda. Commissioners, do you have any request for additions, revisions to the agenda? If so, please raise your hand. Seeing no request, I would like to vote of the commission to proceed with approval of the agenda as submitted. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
That's everyone. Next, in the disclosure by commissioners of site visits and ex parte contact for items on today's agenda. Commissioner Cross. Thank you. Commissioner Ding.
Nothing to report.
Commissioner Severson.
Nothing to report.
Vice Chair Morris. And I have nothing to report. Next is public comment for general items that are not on the agenda. Has staff received any public comments in person or via Zoom?
We have not received any public comments in chambers. Guests on Zoom, please click the hand icon to make a public comment on matters not on the agenda. And we do not have public comments via Zoom.
Right, so at this point, we begin the public hearing. 1635 Linden Street. Commissioner Alves revisits City Manager's office. Sorry.
All right. Good evening, commissioners, Commissioner Chair. I'm before you all today. My name is Mary Haddad. I'm with the City Manager's office. I've had the pleasure of meeting some of you, not all of you, so thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight for a really brief presentation. So you may have all heard of a commission analysis project that we've taken before the City Council. Initially, we've taken this report to the City Council in 2022. It was a pretty robust analysis on the efficiencies and effectiveness of our commissions at the time. We brought that item back to the City Council in April. So we looked at a couple of different things. We looked at the hours spent on commissions, how many commissions we have, some similarities between those commissions, and we had a really robust study session with the City Council in 2022. So I'm bringing back that item in April with some further direction. At the direction of City Council, we consolidated 3 of those commissions into one. What today we know as the Community Services Commission used to be 3 different commissions, and now it's a 7-body member commission. We also put one of the commissions on a quarterly basis, the Public Art Commission, just to make sure their agendas were filled up a little bit more. We also looked at increased training opportunities for the commissions, and we looked at increased recognition efforts for the commissions, hence the Commissioner Congress that we hope to see you all at on June 20th. So 2 years later, we got at the request of City Council, brought back this item with a little bit of a different approach. So we looked really at the costing and hours associated with commission-related work on the staff side, but we also reached out to the commissioners to look at the hours that you all were spending on commission-related work. We put out an initial survey that was focused on those 2 elements, and we received about 45 responses. After presenting that item to the City Council at the May 1st meeting, we received further direction to bring that item back in June, sometime in June, and to come back to the commissions and solicit further input on a few more things. So looking at the work plans, looking at the relation of those work plans, also looking at possible opportunities for consolidation or other efficiencies, or overall just improvements to the commission process. So that's why I'm here today. I'm conducting some outreach to the commissions in a few different ways. Just a little recap. These are how many commissions fall in between all of the departments. So the CHC is one of the commissions within the Community Development Department, and this is a breakdown of our commissions as we see them today. Little recap. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Looks like the talking points are there. Yeah, I can tell you right now. Yeah, Public Works, the second largest one. So looking at some of the results from the initial survey that our team sent out, focused mostly on hours. This is a recap of that data. So as you can see here, we looked at the annual number of scheduled meetings, the average number of commissioner hours per meetings, and then we use that to calculate the annual hours that each commissioner spends a year, and then annual hours that all commissioners spend a year. So we took a look at that. That was part of that report to the City Council on May 1st. So as we get together today, we're looking at a couple of different things. I think I touched base with some of you before the meeting. We have a survey that's out now that's a little bit different, looking at a couple of more elements. My plan is to send a follow-up on that survey and possibly extend that deadline just so we can get as much input as possible. Right now, it's May 22nd. I anticipate that we're going to be extending that just a little bit. And we had our second virtual input meeting this afternoon. We had a lot better attendance on that one today. We had about 5 commissioners on there. Really great conversation. But of course, I don't want to limit it to those 2 meetings. At any time, if anybody wants to schedule some time to get on a Zoom, phone call, email, I'm happy to accommodate that one-on-one feedback that you might not want to say maybe at the dais or through the survey. So happy to be here today as just another touch point and solicit some of your input on what you want to see out of this commission analysis, and happy to provide any more clarification on what that project entails. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Nobody have any questions or anything?
Just out of curiosity, I know that on the survey, our commission was one that was being proposed for consolidation. Just what was the initial feedback that you had heard on that?
So when we brought this item to the City Council on May 1st, we looked at the departments that had the most commissions and brought back some opportunities or alternatives for consideration of commissions that possibly might be able to merge their scope of work. No direction was taken by the City Council at that time. So that's why we're coming back to see if that's an opportunity that the commissioners see fit in their opinion or feedback. There was a couple of different considerations. So on the survey right now, there's a few different options that the commissioners can look at. If I recall correctly, at the City Council meeting, they were looking at possible planning and DRB, Design Review Board, my apologies, consolidation. I know with CHC, there's a lot of projects that are reviewed there. There was some of that feedback shared in the virtual input meeting today. So there were some concerns with that. So if anybody has any similar concerns, I'm more than happy to take note of that.
I think one of the options was planning in DRB or planning in CHC, and then one of them was planning in DRB and like CHC, which is a lot
Well,
as my feedback.
When you put the analysis of the hours, those 3 are the top ones.
Oh, you didn't see finance down at the bottom. Finance of like 200 hours.
Are you looking for our input tonight? Do you want some input?
Yeah, absolutely. If you
Well,
guys,
I
you guys would like
I
to.
echo Commissioner Dang, if you put planning, the DRB and CHC together, that would be too long of a meeting
Mhm.
for anybody to have to sit through ever. That would be terrible. I mean, staff work for the public work commissioners, but there may be some consolidation of.
2 of those 3, yeah. I would say all 3 is a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I said the same thing, but like you have Public Works, you have MTech, you have NREC, and then there's like another one. I don't know. Yeah, it's a lot. I think there is opportunity there to have some consolidation
Sure.
because they broke out Public Works and MTech, and it's probably time to bring them back together.
Is the input you're seeking only from commissioners, or have you asked some of the public participants like architects in town? Do you know?
We have not. We haven't got out to the public for this. We're looking at the commissioners for feedback and our staff liaisons. But we're also going to be looking at other cities too.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Okay, at this point, we start the public hearing and we start with the first project of the evening, 1635 Linden Street.
Thank you, Chair and members of the commission. For this item, staff is recommending this item to be continued to the next regular Cultural Heritage Commission meeting. And if the commission does entertain that motion, we'll need a motion and also confirming vote. Thank you.
So I would like to make a motion to continue the project 1635 Linden Street to the next CHC meeting. Any seconds?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All right. Very well, thank you. Next project on the agenda, 1017 Magnolia Street.
Okay. Good evening, Chair, members of the CHC. My name is Dean Flores, Senior Planner with the Community Development Department. And I'll be presenting on this project, which again is item number 4, project number COA 24003, located at 1017 Magnolia Street, which is a certificate of appropriateness for first and second story additions. So the subject property is located on the south side of Magnolia Street in between Meridian and Fairview Avenues, and is zoned residential high intensity, which is technically a multifamily zone, but single family residences are allowed to continue to exist in this zone. So the subject site, the existing home was originally built in 1904 in a craftsman style architectural style. And the home currently measures 1,300 square feet. And the overall craftsman style that's existing, it's characterized by horizontal wood siding, bay windows, an arched front porch, double hung wood windows, decorative window mullion divides, exposed wood rafters, and exposed brick foundation stem walls. Property also includes a detached garage towards the rear. With respect to the proposed certificate of appropriateness, it would include the following, which is interior remodel and the demolition of the existing unpermitted porch at the rear of the home, adding approximately 528 square feet on the first floor, 269 square feet on the second floor, and a new 274 square foot rear patio, which would replace the existing unpermitted one. As shown in the staff report, with respect to the zoning development standards, it's shown that it's in substantial compliance with the following lot coverage, building height, parking requirements, setback requirements, second story step back. And one of the things to note for the parking, the garage can continue to exist as is, even though technically per the code, a 2-car garage is required, but because it's located within a half mile, per state law AB 2097, they don't need to provide any additional parking. With respect to the location of the additions, you can see here it'll be located at the rear of the home, with particular attention to the second story addition. Again, per the design standards, they really hone in on the second story additions being located towards the rear of the home rather than it being prominent towards the front of the home. So that's what the applicant did. That's how they designed the project. As you can see here, the addition will add an additional bedroom on the first floor and an office on the second floor. I did want to note that in the staff report, I did say that it would be 4 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms on page 3 of the staff report. That is incorrect. It would actually be 3 bedrooms, 3 baths. So just want to put that on the record. So for the proposed elevations, as you can see, it is a little misleading, which I'll show in the renderings in a couple slides. When it comes to the front elevation, again, the second story addition is located towards the rear, so it won't be as prominent. So as you can see here, here's a 45-degree sight line. And as you can see, the property descends a little bit to the rear. So you can see that the second story, it won't be as prominent as shown in the front elevations. And with this second model, you can see the new proposed rear porch and a small balcony on the second story. And so with respect to differentiation with the new additions, instead of providing wood, they're doing hardy board just to provide that slightly different material, although it would mimic the existing architectural style and material. With respect to the design findings as shown in the staff report, again, they did design the project so that the second story addition especially is not as prominent from the front. It's located towards the rear in order to limit the overall mass and scale of the addition. And again, to provide that differentiation, which is something that's required not only by our design standards, but the Secretary of Interior standards. That said, staff recommends that the Cultural Heritage Commission find the project exempt from CEQA, sections 15301 and 15331 of the CEQA guidelines, and approve the project subject to the recommended conditions of approval. And that concludes my presentation. The applicant is here, Dahl Architects. They have something prepared just to show you some different renderings. They have a 3D model, so I'll let them come up. But both staff and the applicant will also be available for any questions.
All right. Thank you very much. Does anyone have any questions for staff? I have a question.
Yes.
Quick one. The parking, can you talk to me a little bit more about the
Sure.
parking?
So state law, I believe it's AB 2097. When a project is located within a half mile of a high quality transit stop, in this case, the metro stop, they're exempt from providing any additional parking.
Very good. Thank
yeah.
you. Perfect. Any other questions for staff? Very good. Thank you. Does the applicant have a presentation? Very good. Thanks.
Good evening. Oh, is this on? Yeah. I'm Steve Dahl with Dahl Architects, and we have Adrian Dahl also with us, and we have Gavin, and we have Lisa and Tim, the homeowners. So everybody's here. Tim Penske's in the background. You'll actually see his name on some of the old permits, but he's not part of this project tonight. But you know, he is involved, so we're all involved. So he's worked on this project before. So thank you, Dean. And Dean, thank you so much because he took over from Sandra and Sandra took over from Mackenzie. So the real hero of all this is Matt, who's wrangling as the planning manager all the way through. He's a hero. We got to recognize him. He's amazing for you guys, what he does. We met with him last summer on this project with our clients and kind of went over concepts. We hate surprises. So we like to go in early and kind of kick it around. They were very supportive, and then it's gone its way along the way since then. I love the Secretary of the Interior guidelines. I think they really make sense. I'll put in my 2 bits. Don't consolidate with another group. You guys are focusing on something, and it's different than the DRB. It's different than the Planning Commission. It's not just putting in the time. It's your focus. It's the people that are up here, and you guys are for this. You're not for those other groups. I'm hoping they'll reach out to the community on that. But we're just thrilled with this one. You'll see from the photos that Adrian put together on the presentation, they're in the staff report that Dean did for you. And here's the 3D model that he's spinning around. Please let us know if, and we're not allowed to go in the pit. So if there's a different angle you'd like to see or something on that 3D model that Gavin put together, let us know and we can turn it from that angle. But from the photos of the existing home, you'll see that there's a rear addition that's pretty bad already. And then there's beyond that, there's a covered porch that's even worse. It almost feels like you're looking at a mobile home, a trailer park or something in the back. So we really feel good about this, not only of putting the addition to the back, but getting rid of some of that old stuff and really making this home work better. When we turned it in, we actually thought it was more Victorian than Craftsman, kind of an in-between period, which is wonderful. We didn't want to touch the front at all And in fact, in the rear, with a bay window on the front and the side, we're going to do another bay window in the rear, kind of making it feel similar. But of course, we do not want to fool the public that what we're providing and proposing in the rear is historic, original. So besides the hardy siding being a little bit different than the wood, it's going to be 4 inches, whereas the home is 3 inches. So at a quick glance, you'll be able to tell kind of retroactively when you drop by for the barbecue they're going to put on or something that, oh, this is different, and it's not trying to fool anyone. So we feel good about this. Adrian, do you want to say some things? Or
Well, so I just wanted to add that the addition, besides being in the rear and especially the second floor addition, the second floor is located entirely within the addition itself. So the front of the house is staying completely by itself. We're not touching that at all, other than there's a bathroom being added into one of the bedrooms. So the second floor addition and first floor are just both in the back. And then I also wanted to elaborate on the parking situation. There is an exemption for smaller homes where you can keep a one-car garage. So this does have a one-car garage, but there's no driveway. There's not even a curb cut, so there's no way to access that. So part of this proposal is to add a driveway so they can park on site, and that includes the new curb cut from the street.
Thank you.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions, we're here.
Yeah, well,
look, the homeowner's going to come up. There's
Sure.
a big chance.
sure, absolutely.
She works at home, so she's going to be up in that little pop-up working at home.
The only thing I wanted to, oh, hi. The only thing I wanted to add is that if you look at a map of where our home is, we are surrounded by Caltrans properties and lots of apartment buildings. And we have a deep appreciation of historic homes. This will be our second historic home that we've developed. Our first one was up in San Jose, which was a bungalow style built in the 40s. And we have a love for the architecture, but we also needed it to be modern. 1,300 square feet for a family of 4 is a little bit small, especially with me working at home. And I felt that the second floor would give me a really nice view of the metro. And I can see the arm going up and down on the street here. So, we tried to really make it the same look and feel of the original home. And I think Steve's done a really nice job with his team to achieve our goals. So that's.
Thank you.
Can I answer your question? Does your
There is Hope Court. Hope Court. That the last house is our neighbor to the back. Yeah. Yeah, and that was another reason for wanting to put on the second story is we love the backyard. It's a beautiful backyard. There's a lot of fruit trees. We want to use the backyard and have that as a, as a common area for gardening. So the office upstairs, small office, it just helps us achieve that goal.
Thank you. Thank you. At this point, does anybody have any questions for the applicant? Any questions from the board for the applicant? Nope. All good. Well, at this point, we'll open the public hearing. Staff, are there any public comments for this item?
We have not received a request for public comments in chambers. Attendees participating on Zoom, please click the hand icon to make a public comment on item number 4. And we do not have public comments via Zoom.
Very good. Actually, I do have a quick question for the applicant, although I'll just keep it I'll do it on the next stage. So at this point, we are gonna close the public comments and have discussion among the commissioners. Anybody would like to begin? I have a quick question for just basically, can you tell me a little bit about the railing in the back porch? I'm not sure that I saw any notes about it, so.
So that's going to be a wood railing, just with vertical pickets.
That do you have an idea of what size every element is?
I don't think we've done a detail of that yet.
Okay.
But right now, there's a similar wooden railing I think it's going to be relatively similar, although the rest of that in addition in the back on the bottom is like that diagonal lattice screen cover. So we're going to remove that and replace that. All the part below the sill plate is going to have a brick veneer on there to kind of match the rest of the house that actually has a real brick foundation,
Okay.
fortunately. But no, we haven't detailed that.
And the second floor is the same. I would assume the
That's the
second
same.
floor railing is also the same.
That's the same railing.
So next time we probably want to see that detail.
Okay.
I know you guys are going to do a great job with it. So
Next time I'm here, this is next time. So typically for Craftsman homes, and this is kind of a Craftsman Victorian hybrid, we do a 2x2 picket,
Yep.
and they are slightly less than 4 inches apart. By code, a 4-inch ball cannot pass anywhere between. So
Sure.
usually we do a 2x2, which is actually 1.5 by 1.5 inches.
Right.
They're about 3.5 inches spaces. And then at the bottom, 3.5 inches above the deck or the balcony, we have a 2x4 because it wants to be bigger that the 2x2 sit in. And at the top, we do a 2x6 because it needs to be even wider. So scale, it goes up, and then it's perfect to set a reusable water bottle or a martini glass right on the top of the railing. So 2x6, 2x2s, and then 2x4. And then every 4 to 6 feet, we'll have a 4x4 that goes up that it'll attach to. So that's the detail. We don't have to come back next time for that.
no.
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
he
I was-
said next time, I panicked.
No, I'm not gonna make you come back. I said next time, Hassan, for the next project.
Oh,
I-
the next project. Good, okay.
No.
We'll
That's
bring the detail.
basically what it shows on the 3D model.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that I just wanted to confirm. That's
Yeah.
Write it down.
Yeah,
yeah,
sorry.
perfectly
Thing
fine.
to add there
Oh,
is
step up.
because of the height difference on the back and then also on the second floor, these have to be 42-inch
Sure.
high.
Yeah.
So normally
Code.
for a Craftsman home, we would want to do lower,
Yeah.
but we have to put them
Yep.
at 42 inches.
Thank you very much. Anybody wants to start any other questions, and then just comments now for discussion for the commissioner or the commission.
I think this is a well-designed project. We have all the information that we need. It's not outrageous and it seems to fit the house. I would make a motion if you guys are willing to entertain a motion. Are you ready?
Everybody's ready? Wow, that's quick. We're gonna blaze through it. Well, before we do the motion,
Okay.
I'm going to thank the applicant. Thoughtful process, thoughtful presentation, and complete presentation besides the railing. Very good. So thank you. This is the kind of presentation we like to see, very complete and very thoughtful design. So thank you. It's great scale, and I don't think I could have done it better. You guys did a fantastic job. Thank you.
I wish it were 3 months instead of 9 that you've been in the city, but
Well-
this should be the end of your road here anyway. I would make a motion that we approve the project, that we agree that it's exempt from CEQA, that we approve the project as submitted. We can make all the mandatory findings. We can make project-specific findings. Number 2, that it's appropriate in size to the neighborhood. Specific finding number 3, that there's a clear distinction between the old house and the new addition. And project-specific number 5, which it provides substantial new space for you and allows your family to grow without being, a monstrosity. So that's my motion.
I second that motion. Can we take roll call?
Commissioner Cross, Commissioner Ding,
Yes.
Commissioner Severson,
Yes.
Vice Chair Morrish, Chair Lopez.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Very good. Thank you. Congratulations. This project has been approved, subject to the conditions of approval. This decision is final unless an appeal is filed within 15 days. I'm supposed to say this. From today, no construction or activity may commence during this period. Appeal forms may be obtained from the city clerk's office. Thank you, and this closes this item. Thank you, guys. Good job. Very well, moving right along. I thought it was gonna be a long one today, but hey, we're cruising. 1617 Spruce Street.
Good evening, Commissioners, Council Member. I'm Tatiana Marin, Acting Assistant Planner, and I will be presenting item number 5 on today's agenda, project number COA 24-005, located at 1617 Spruce Street. Subject site is a rectangular shaped lot located on the south side of Spruce Street. It measures approximately 8,753 square feet. It is zoned residential estate and is surrounded to the north, east, and west by 1 to 2-story residential uses and a commercial use to the rear. The subject site is currently developed with a 2,444 square foot, 2-story single-family residence and a 479 square foot attached garage. The home was originally built in 1923 in the Spanish colonial revival style. The applicant is requesting an approval for a certificate of appropriateness to construct a 469 square foot second-story rear addition above the existing 1-story attached garage to include a new bedroom, bathroom, and walk-in closet, expanding the existing second floor into the new addition. When complete, the home will total 2,913 square feet with 4 bedrooms. Minor interior improvements are proposed on the first floor as well as illustrated in the plans. Here is the existing site plan. And here is the proposed site and roof plan with the addition highlighted in green. The proposed project complies with the development standards for the RE zone, as well as development standards for small non-conforming residential parcels, as the property measures under 10,000 square feet. Here are the existing and proposed first floor plans. And now we have the proposed second floor plan showing the new second-story addition also highlighted in green. Now we have the existing and proposed front elevations. The addition will not be visible from the front street-facing facade. The only changes being made to the front facade is one window change and the addition of a faux spark chimney, which will be matching the existing Spanish colonial revival architecture. Here are the existing and proposed west side elevations. And now we have the existing and proposed east side elevations. Now we have the existing and proposed rear elevations. As mentioned in the staff report, staff recommends review and approval from the chair as a chair review for further design refinement on the south and east elevation to be in compliance with the SOI standards of differentiation. The applicant provided some colored elevations of the proposed design. And as proposed, the project complies to all applicable development standards for the RE zone, development standards for small non-conforming lots, as well as the city's historic design guidelines. In conclusion, staff recommends that the Cultural Heritage Commission find the project exempt from CEQA pursuant to Section 15-301, Class 1 for existing facilities, since the project is not adding more than 10,000 square feet to the existing structure, and pursuant to 15-331, Class 31 for historical resource restoration and rehabilitation, as the project is proposing modifications to a potential historic resource. Lastly, the proposed design meets many criteria of the design guidelines, and staff is comfortable recommending an approval of this project. Staff has identified several areas of the project that will require continued refinement. However, these items could be addressed through a condition of approval, such as condition number P4, requiring that the Cultural Heritage Commission chair review the revised architectural plans prior to the building plan check process. And these items are design refinement on the proposed south and east elevation to be in compliance with SOI standards of differentiation. And that concludes my presentation. Staff is here to answer any questions, as well as the applicant is here to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions for staff from the commission? Right, I see none. So at this point, does the applicant has a presentation?
They don't, but they are here for any
Okay,
questions.
very good, very good. Any questions for the applicant from the commission? Yeah,
Can
sure,
I
sure.
ask one?
Yeah.
You noticed the note in the staff report about the differentiation between the new addition and the old?
The differentiation? Oh,
Between
okay.
the addition and the existing house? That
So
Secretary Superior standards say you have to differentiate. Did you choose not to for a reason, or Did you just not get to that part?
Not to what?
Differentiate the addition.
Yeah,
From
the
the
stucco's
house.
different.
I thought it was the same sand finish.
It's not one is sponge finish and the other one is a steel trowel.
Will that be a differentiation that you can see as a layperson walking down?
I can, I mean, but you got, no, not walking down the street. You
Well,
can't see it from
walking
the
down
street.
though.
Yeah. You can't, well, you assume if you were in the backyard.
I
If
think
you
if
got on the
if you-
site, then you'd see one was a poorly done,
I
sponge,
guess for
sponge
them to
finish.
make the point, they're obviously looking for a little more differentiation. Did you choose, or did the property owner not want to make any more differentiation? Or did,
So I think the detail for he wants Anderson windows. This is another architect, a hospital architect. So he wanted Anderson windows, but the new ones have not true, but SDL lights, not true divided. The other ones had the stick-on grids, so these have the dividers inside.
Yep.
Does that help? And the stucco, and it's two-piece, and I suggested using not just one color, but like Ludwicki, multiple colors for the tile, and I mean, make it more Spanish colonial revival than the house is. The house was kind of debauched in '87. And so I'm trying to make it actually look more Spanish than what the building is now, the existing building. So those three things. Tile, stucco.
Any additional questions from the commission to the applicant? All right. At this point, we open the public hearing. Staff, are there any public comments for this item?
We have not received a request for public comments in chambers. Attendees participating on Zoom, please click the hand icon to make a public comment on item number 5. And we do not have public comments via Zoom.
Okay, very good. At this point, we close the public comment section and have discussion among the commission. Anybody would like to begin? Well, I think personally, the difference between the stucco is a tricky material. But given the fact of the way the addition is on the back, nobody can see it. I know that two different stuccos are gonna be somewhat subtle, but I'm okay with that. I think it's because of the way where the location of the addition is, and the modest kind of styling of the existing house to begin with. I think I personally am okay with that. So that's all I have. Anybody else?
and this big blank wall doesn't bother you?
Well, it's a garage at the bottom. So he's just having the
Yeah.
second floor, and the second floor is got windows. So,
Which you did mention are going to be true divided light, not the aluminum.
well, it's got the divided
Okay.
inside between
Yeah.
the not
Not the
true
aluminum
divided, but
set of
yeah.
aluminum.
So that's my opinion. So anybody welcome to speak?
I guess I understand the three things that you've outlined in terms of changing the materiality of the building. I think there could be some simple moves done with the massing to kind of step the upper mass to tie into some of the original details of that style of building, exposed rafter tails at that bottom step or something that are present elsewhere on the house. So I think there's very simple things that can be done with a slight shift at the floor line on that back elevation that could potentially break up that massing so that you're not seeing like what we're seeing in some of these elevations where you just get a big blank flat wall. So I think if the idea is that we're making comments such that we
Sure.
can move forward right now and mark something up and comment on it before it's approved for construction, I think those are small things that could easily be done to change this so that it breaks up the massing.
Minor adjustment.
I think so.
Yeah. Anybody else?
You're referring mostly to like the west elevation and the south elevation, right? Kind of
Yeah,
the same thing
so-
with the
So if we're looking, the notes that it seemed like Matt was looking for our comments on
Yeah.
when I was reading through the report, it looked like the south elevation and then on the, let's see, what page am I?
This
I'm
one.
looking at sheet A 6.2.
Yeah.
So yes.
This right here, right?
So, for instance, if you were to take, there's a horizontal line. I'm sorry, you can't see this, what I'm describing here, but there's a horizontal line on that elevation that is directly above the door. If you were to continue that datum to, I guess that would be the south above the garage and step that mass towards us, that would be a simple way of breaking up that facade. And if you had it turn the corner on the then south facade and do this something similar with, maybe it's a detail that's typical of this style where there's like a 18-inch step back or something like that with a rafter tail. I think I saw it elsewhere in the photos of the house, and just put those in as it kind of marched along those two facades. I think that would be a pretty simple way of breaking up those elevations.
Very good.
And it seems to work with the plan too. I was looking at that. There's some alignments that could easily be picked up there as well.
All right. Any additional comments? Those are very good. So I think what I like to propose is that we make a motion to approve it with those conditions, and then it could be a chair review type thing. We can kind of move the process that way. So,
Could Scott do the chair review for you? I mean, in our.
oh, no, actually, yeah, Scott could do it
Well-
since he's got of course, he
I
can
mean,
do it for sure.
Those are great ideas, and I think if we say.
Yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
that's your recommendation anyways, to approve it with that condition.
There you go.
Good to me.
Well, then I'll make
Yes,
a,
chair review.
I'll make a motion to approve the project because it follows all the criteria and the CEQA and all this stuff. I know you got all those. And then with the condition that you meet with Scott on a quick chair review and kind of hammer those little details out. If that seems like a good a motion, then if anybody wants to second?
I will second that motion.
I mean, I don't want to step on any toes.
No,
here.
no, no, no,
Okay.
sir.
This,
You are
Thank
here
you
for
very
that. That is
Okay.
perfect. That is absolutely perfect. So we have a second. So staff, could you roll call, please?
Commissioner Cross? Commissioner Ding?
Yes.
Commissioner Severson?
Yes.
Vice Chair Morris? Chair Lopez?
Yes.
Motion carries.
I guess we read the approval thing, even though you're gonna have some, I mean, say, where is the approval thingy? Okay, it's on the first one only. There you go. Congratulations. This project has been approved, subject to the conditions of approval. This decision is final unless an appeal is filed within 15 days from today. No construction or activity may commence during the period. Appeal forms may be obtained from the city clerk's office. Thank you. This closes the public hearing for agenda item number 5. Yes. Thank you, sir. All right. Moving right along, 1209 Indiana Avenue.
Good evening again, Chair, members of the CHC, council member. My name is Dean Flores. I'm the Senior Planner with the Community Development Department. Item number 6 is project number LMR 230001, located at 1209 Indiana Avenue, which is a historic landmark designation request, excuse me. A quick project timeline, September 7th, the applicant submitted a full application for the historic landmark designation and also submitted a historic landmark nomination report, which is included as attachment 1 of the staff report. As part of the process, the Historic Preservation Code in the city's municipal code requires that a subcommittee be formed by the CHC, which was brought before the commission in October of 2023. In February 2024, the subcommittee and city staff met with the applicant at the project site to do, an on-site investigation. Soon thereafter, the subcommittee did determine that the property warranted consideration by the commission for the historic landmark designation request. For the actual landmark designation process, the home is included in the city's historic resource survey and is listed or identified as 5S3, which is a property that's individually eligible for a local listing or designation. The CHC here it would be a recommending body, as the city council has ultimate authority and approval for such requests. So the subject site is located on the west side of Indiana, just south of Monterey Road, and it is surrounded by various other historic properties. The subject site itself was originally built in 1911 for Charles and Pearl Gates by an unknown architect or builder. We do not have that information on file, but it was designed in a craftsman style architecture with what's called a Swiss chalet subtype, which some of the characteristics of this type include this two-story mass and generally symmetrical design. Medium pitch front gable with wide array hanging eaves, elevated partial length porch with decorative wood posts, vertical wood plank ceiling and low wood railing, sheathing materials such as the horizontal wood siding and wood shingles, and grouped wood frame windows with 3/2 and fixed panes along the facade. So as part of the process for designation, a home or a property needs to be, needs at least one of the following criteria to be met. The applicant presented for item number 4, which it's exemplification of a particular architectural style of this era and history of the city, which is supported with the statement of significance. The applicant, Debbie Howell, who is available tonight via Zoom, she described that this particular home is included in the city's citywide historic context statement, and contains in that context statement contains this list of architectural features: rectangular plan, flat symmetrical design, wood shingles, wide porch, second story balcony, casement or double hung wood windows, and the decorative brackets and barge boards. So in the context statement, it explicitly states that this particular home is textbook style Swiss chalet craftsman type. That said, with the evidence supported in the staff report, staff recommends that the Cultural Heritage Commission review and recommend the landmark historic designation for 1209 Indiana Avenue to the City Council for their final decision. That concludes my presentation. I'm here for any questions. And again, the applicant, Debbie Howell, she is on Zoom if you have any questions for her as well.
Very good. Thank you very much. Does anybody have questions for staff? Seeing none, does the applicant have a presentation?
She doesn't, but again,
Very
is
good.
available for any
Very good.
questions. Yep.
So at this point, we'll open the public hearing. Staff, are there any public comments for this item?
We have not received any requests for public comments in chambers. Attendees participating on Zoom, please click the hand icon to make a public comment on item number 6. And we do not have public comments via Zoom.
Thank you. We will now close the public comments and have discussion amongst the commission. Would anybody like to begin? We, Commissioner, Vice Chair Morris and I were on the subcommittee, and the visit was a great visit, and I think it's a great example. So I completely agree with the presentation. They have plans to do some work on the facilities, on the house. So that's part of the reason to kind of go through the process to for the Mills Act, so
After we
they're
designate it as a landmark, they're going to come back with the Mills Act.
correct.
But, yeah.
Correct.
So just to be clear, this is for a local designation. This first motion is for a local designation, which they will then intend to use.
For the
To
Mills
pursue
Act,
the
they
Mills
couldn't
Act.
do one
Correct.
without the
Yeah.
other.
Correct.
Got it.
In this one, actually, if you've been by this house, it meets more than one criteria for designation.
Oh, yeah.
It's got a history that's very interesting. It's got a bunch of architectural features that are, it's right up the alley of a house that we really should designate and keep restored. The amount of maintenance is going to require us a lot. And they're willing to do it, so.
Yep.
I think this is very exciting.
All right. So
You went by, right? Did you
Oh,
see
yeah.
this house?
Oh,
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
And this is one of the houses that clearly had an impact on architecturally. Well, I didn't pursue architecture, I pursued planning. Those are in the corner house there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
South of it, and I think when I was in school, one of my classmates lived in one of the big houses on Monterey that was set way back where the condominiums are now. It just broke my heart when those.
And they were related in some way. Some of
Yes,
those were
right,
Gates
they were all
family
the Gates
members. They're all-
family.
It's a big compound. kind of.
Right,
Yeah.
right. They were all Gates, and I know an architect named Morris designed some.
very good.
But the report is also very complete. Debbie Heller
Yep.
does a great job. We've got
Yeah.
lots. Thanks.
It's a great entry up the hill.
Yeah.
It really is.
All right. Any other comments or questions from the board for the commission? All right. So who would like to make a motion?
Lacking no one else, I will make a motion that we recommend that the city council approve this designation.
I will second.
Staff, will you roll call, please?
Commissioner Cross,
Yes,
Commissioner Ding,
Yes.
Commissioner Severson,
Yes.
Vice Chair Morris, and Chair Lopez.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Very good. I guess I have to say that one. No? No. Okay, good. Very good. Well, thank you. That works out very well. 1209. So, okay, so now is step 2, Mills Act. Very good.
And this presentation will be very short for item number 7. But again, my name is Dean Flores, Senior Planner of the Community Development Department. So for this one, this is obviously tied to the last item. This is for the Mills Act request. As part of the Mills Act process, again, another subcommittee needs to be formed by the commission. So staff recommends that the commission appoint a subcommittee to review a request for a Mills Act contract. Just for those, listening, the Mills Act contract allows a tax reduction between approximately 40 to 60% for a property owner who agrees to perform certain restoration and maintenance tasks over a 10-year period. And again, this subcommittee the commission will be eventually recommending to city council to approve the Mills Act contract, which would occur subsequent to the landmark designation, because that needs to happen first. But, we're doing it one after the other.
Very good.
That's
Thank
it.
you. Do I have any volunteers for the subcommittee?
Scott, would you like to check out this house? It's cool. We could do
It's
it.
beautiful.
We're
Yeah.
familiar with it, but if you'd like to check it out, this is a cool one to start looking at.
Sure. Yes, I can be on the subcommittee for that one.
Anybody else?
no, I've seen a lot of historic houses. And I support the commission.
Yeah.
I'm okay doing it, but this would be our first.
No,
This was-
no, you'll be fine.
Okay.
Debbie,
Nope.
the
You'll be
consultant
fine.
on this will.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
she
all right.
provides
yeah.
every amount of-
No, you'll be
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
It's- Yeah. It's good. All right, so we have a subcommittee. Yes.
Can we formally kind of make a proper formally nomination and
Yeah, you have to
confirming?
Make a motion.
Oh. Okay, I'll make a motion to create a subcommittee with Commissioner Ding and Commissioner Severson. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Cross,
Yes,
Commissioner Ding,
Yes.
Commissioner Severson,
Yes.
Vice Chair Morris, Chair Lopez.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Very good. Thank you, thank you, thank you, guys. All right, 2024 Annual Commission Report.
Thank you, Chair and members of the commission. This item before you is our annual commission work plan, but also accomplishment this commission has accomplished this past year. As you heard from City Manager Office, Mary was in charge of the commissioner kind of communications. We're scheduled to have a commissioner congress scheduled for June 20 of this year. And I think every commissioner got emailed and also RSVP from Mary. So as part of the commissioner congress kind of agenda is for every commission or board to present work plan for the next fiscal years as well as accomplishment for the past years. So staff draft 2024 annual commission report here for commission's review, comments, suggestions. So staff can finalize this report and present it to the Commissioner Congress in June. So staff is welcoming any comments, edits, or suggestions.
I actually don't have any comments about the report. I had thoughts I wanted to discuss and see what the commission thought. So I've been to a lot of different commissioner congresses, and the ones I went to before last year, it was always like mixed up seating. So you would meet other commissioners from like planning or NREC and stuff. And I thought that was pretty cool. But then last year, it was our entire commission with our staff liaisons, which I also thought was cool because I got to talk to Braulio was there and you know, learn more about him. So I'm just curious, what direction are we going to go in this year? Because I thought they were both good, but yeah.
Staff can definitely reach out to Mary, also the city clerk office, to find out the arrangement, also not just the seating arrangement, but also the agenda, how the event's going to run. Staff, I don't have that information.
Okay.
So I can definitely pass on that information about kind of commingling or just get
Yeah,
more.
I don't want to make a feedback or suggestion on behalf of the commission. So what do you guys think? Or no preference?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, all right.
So,
Cool. That's all I have.
I don't have any questions, any question or comments about the draft. I just want to say that I might not be there. First of all, I noticed that we are supposed to have a commission, a CHC meeting that day, so I assume that has been canceled. And then there is a chance I'll not be there. I'm trying. There's something happening. I'm trying to work it around it. So just saying that. Yes. So I assume that I'm speaking, giving this, or no.
I think that's one of items staff will check with the city clerk and city manager office to find out for presentation, who is going to make that presentation. I definitely recall that usually the chair or vice chair, somebody from the commission will kind of do a very high level about. So I think the flow and process is probably the same this year, but staff will circle back, check with city clerk office. But I think
Presentation is basically these pages, right? So
Yeah,
Yeah.
2 slides. You get 2 slides in like 3
Yeah,
minutes or
right,
something. Yeah.
exactly. So I'm just saying it. I'm happy to do it, but I might be out of town.
no, that's totally understandable. I think staff forgot to mention that staff would like to thank all the commissioner for all the efforts, because it's not just the hearing, right? The subcommittee, the site visit, the preparation before the meeting, the chair review, Commissioner Chair Lopez, also former Chair Gallatin, was doing numerous kind of hours, sometimes even come to the city hall working with the applicant. So city staff really appreciate all your assistance, even the virtual meeting, a lot of hours. So I know Mary provided the hours that you all attending per meeting, but I think it's definitely way more than that hours. Because that doesn't count the site visit you attend, right? The reading material, and also subcommittee that you all have done. So that doesn't count into that consideration. So staff, on behalf of all of us here, really thank all the commissioners for your volunteer, for your help, for your assistance. We really appreciate it.
Oh,
Thank you.
I guess the one thing I would add, not that I've actually looked at this, is for the 2024-2025 work plan, maybe like bullet point number 4 is just continue doing what we're doing with the project reviews and COAs and chair reviews, because it's mentioned as an accomplishment, but not like a going forward thing.
The reason, since I know it's become like one of your routine function, it is review CO application.
it doesn't need to be-
So we didn't want to put out here, usually work plan want to identify something that's kind of unique.
Okay.
I know sometimes it's become a boilerplate, but I think it's something that we could do. I know
That's
staff
fine,
may
that's
talk
fine,
about
yeah.
it.
That's fine.
Any way we can streamline the process, making easier, efficient for the applicant, the homeowners, but also we definitely have some Mills Act project coming up this year. So
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
definitely something that unique.
Yeah, no,
We haven't done
get
it for
like, the things
couple
that
years.
we are supposed to do by ordinance don't necessarily need to be on our work plan. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Any other comments or questions? Very good. Now we move to comments from City Council liaison.
Okay, I really don't have much to talk about. I was at the meeting last night. Most of the council meeting was tied up with a large crowd of people who wanted us to pass a resolution condemning the violence, whatever, for lack of a better word, in Gaza. City council took no action. Okay, but we listened to the comments, which exceeded over 40. And it's a large meeting. Most of the other things, there was nothing that stood out in the council meeting, other than the items that we did, business items that needed to be taken care of. They were taken care of.
Thank you. Any questions for City Councilman? Very good. Comments from commissioners. Any updates on anything? Very good. Comments from subcommittees?
Did you reach out to Braulio about Wayne?
Well, I answered.
Oh,
I
okay.
haven't-
Oh, no,
I haven't heard any.
Okay, okay.
We are on a subcommittee
Sure.
and it's been going for
A long time. Yeah,
months. If
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we're getting to the year now, but
yeah.
so,
Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah.
responded to him too. I haven't heard back.
and
so I
I
just-
assume it's coming soon and you will, you will know when it comes. All right, very good. Comments from staff.
Thank you, chairs and members of the commission again. So staff, I just very few comments, updates. I think one is Commissioner Congress. I think staff already mentioned it earlier. And other item is this past Tuesday, we had a planning commission meeting for proposed Trader Joe. They're trying to sell alcoholic beverages. So there's a conditional use permit, and planning commission did review and also approved the use of off sale of alcoholic beverages. So very similar to what the Bounce is it's kind of takeout, grab and go. So it's like a retail sales. So, and another update from the Trader Joe representative was at the meeting. So they were thinking about the store is anticipated to open later this year, around September, October. So at least according to the Trader Joe representative, they're hoping to open in September, October. And another item will be just, I know summer's coming up, and also we have, except that next month's meeting, which will be a Commissioner Congress, we're still scheduled to have a July and August meeting. However, you have any other plans or you will be absent from the meeting, please let us know. So we'll make sure we have a quorum for the any meetings. Thank you all.
Somebody said there's gonna be some chargers, electric chargers there. Do you know?
One of the initial plan is there will be Tesla chargers at the parking lot more facing where the Fair Oaks is. And that's kind of just more kind of a plan, but we don't have anything solid at this point.
And as I understand it, Trader Joe's is not gonna use the whole space. Is there a plan for the rest of the space?
Yes, the Trader Joe representative was here on Tuesday. They're planning to, I think the whole space was close to 20,000 square feet. I think only cover majority of it. I think there's another 8,000 or 9,000. Is it gonna either be other tenants or gonna Trader Joe gonna use it for some other purposes? So only 19,000 of that formal Vaughn space is gonna be retail market purposes.
And they're keeping the Mission Street store.
It is, according to the representative from Trader Joe, they're keeping both stores.
Well, the people that live on Adeline will be very happy.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Well, if don't see any more action around, so I would like to adjourn to the regular Culture Heritage Commission meeting scheduled for Thursday, June 20th, but no, that's not right. So that will be canceled. So it will be July in next July. I don't know which date it is. I thought it
So
was-
we'll do a
Oh, it's-
formal cancellation later. Yeah, email to everybody. So you have to attend, if you could attend the Commissioner Congress with it.
Thank you. We're adjourned.